This is Aprilia's RS457, their newest entry into their sport bike lineup. It features a 457cc parallel twin with a 270-degree crank, makes the claims 49 horsepower, 32 pound-feet of torque, weighs right around 386 pounds. It's got 3 ride modes: Sport, Eco, Rain, 3 levels of traction control, as well as you can disable traction control. You got 2 levels of ABS. You can disable ABS at the rear wheel. You can switch modes on the fly, switch traction control on the fly. Super sport bike DNA in this bike. You got a 320mm single rotor up front with a 4-piston bi-brake caliper, dual piston bi-brake caliper at the rear, aluminum frame with a steel swing arm, all mounting to the engine, as well as exhaust and the foot pegs. This is all in an effort to keep the bike light and nimble.
All right, here we are at Autodrome Modena in Italy. This thing has a really agile chassis. Gives you a lot of good front end feel. This is a really good track bike, and they really worked hard on making sure they achieved that. As much as they did make sure it's good as a street bike for riding on the roads and stuff, it was really important to them to make sure this bike performs well on the racetrack, or the pista as they say. This engine, you can really ride a gear high, 3rd gear right through there. Makes it really nice. You got this good torque curve right off the bottom. There's a really planted chassis. Look, like no fork dive, just razor sharp handling. I tried 2nd gear right there earlier, but found that you gotta really grab that shift early, and prefer just staying a gear high. On this tighter track at my speed, I'm fine. I'm mostly using 3rd through almost the whole course, and then get up into 4th and 5th on the straights. See, 4th gear, 5th gear. Got rear ABS deactivated. The accessory quick shifter coming in. Good feel on the front, kind of miss my apex. Just really agile bike, which for me, with not a whole lot of track experience, really good and confidence inspiring. I like getting on the brakes pretty hard into this corner. Really good feel from the front brake. And that fork, they talked about it, they really wanted a stiff fork and just a stiff chassis in general for that track performance. They realized to a certain extent you're going to have to compromise some road performance. See, like just flicking it from one corner to the next, really nice. Kind of ran that thing wide. Got off the brake, kind of ruining my lines here, but nonetheless, really good feel. I feel like I could push this bike, and for me, this is a bike that would be really good to get into track days. Getting eager here, cutting in a little too early, but nonetheless, this bike is really a lot of fun. Super confidence inspiring, just a lot of good front end feel. Like I just, even though I'm not hitting my, missed the shift, got that quick shifter. Even though I'm missing my lines and kind of struggling as far as where to be on the racetrack a little bit. As much as it is a stiff chassis, it's so planted that it's actually pretty forgiving, because you just have really good feel, really good grip levels. And you got this nice torquey engine that has a really strong mid-range. Gotta wait on that corner a bit more. Same with this one. I just love that torque feel. You just crack the throttle and you have so much response, and you have the classic parallel twin engine pulses. And man, I'm already getting more and more, even though have limited track experience, with each lap, each corner, each section, just gaining so much confidence. Price point under $7,000. Pretty good, man. And the ride-by-wire system, which Aprilia was a pioneer in, really good on this bike. I've spent a little bit of time on a Tuono, the Touareg, some of their other models, the RS660, and I remember it wasn't terrible. I remember having a little bit of sort of a vague feel right at the crack of the throttle. This one does not have that same sensation. It's really good. We're in the lowest traction control setting right now. With rear ABS deactivated, sport mode, most aggressive engine mapping and throttle response. You also have a rain mode and eco with dedicated TC and ABS settings. There's two ABS settings, 1 and 2. One is going to be a street, and there's going to be a track ABS. Good brake feel out of these Vibri. It's got it out of the Vibri caliper, 4-piston caliper up front, 2 in the rear. You got a single 320mm disc up front. Just getting right up to the rev limiter right there in third. Wow, it's really good on the front end. It's amazing on the brake, trail braking into the corner. Just such good feel. I mean, man, things like a little race bike. I like how you can turn off rear ABS. I don't know if it's the fastest way for me around the track, but I can feel the rear kind of sliding and skidding on the rear brake, and definitely not the fastest guy out here, so not worried about my lap times, but it makes it a lot of fun. It's so playful, but still so capable. You know, they're really targeting a younger demographic with a little bit less experience, kind of someone like me. But there's a lot of good, fast, experienced guys out here, and I think they're having just as much fun. For experienced guys that are looking for maybe a little lightweight track bike, I think they'll really appreciate this bike.
Alright, we're all done here riding the RS457 at the circuit in Modena, Italy. Amazing motorcycle, super racy, super agile chassis, a lot of great front end feel, really stiff suspension. You got adjustable preload on the fork as well as on the shock, 41mm fork, and man, this thing just clearly is an RS. It's got that RS Aprilia racy DNA. This thing was amazing on the racetrack, super agile. You can really push the bike hard, great front end feel, switchable ride modes, switchable traction control. You can turn traction control off, turn off rear ABS, really back the thing into a corner, and man, dude, I have no complaints about this bike. This is just an amazing lightweight street bike, maybe the best in class. We can't say that yet until we get them all together on the same day and ride them, but for sure this is a contender. This bike retails for right around $6,700 in this colorway right here, $200 more for the sort of racy inspired livery, the GP inspired livery. But I mean, just no complaints. Lightweight, agile, great front end feel, super torquey motor. You get roughly around 80% of the torque at 3,000 RPM, and man, coming off corners in third gear, even tight, slow speed corners, the thing just hooks up, pulls away. We had the optional quick shifter today. I mean, man, this was just an amazing experience on a racetrack with this super racy lightweight sport bike. So that's going to wrap up this onboard review. Of course, check out the link in the description, go more in depth, really break down the technical details of this bike as well as the riding impressions. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, hit the like button, and let me know in the comments, what sport bike in the lightweight category are you looking at?